They promised him a pet. What arrived was a terrified alien vampire woman. Jared Whitmore had never been one to follow rules, especially the mundane, pedestrian rules of corporate protocol. So when he received a mysterious email from a shadowy biotech company promising the ultimate companion, your very own alien pet, he didn't hesitate. The subject line had simply read, "Your pet awaits. Choose wisely." The offer was vague, tantalizing, and expensive, just enough to appeal to Jared's thrill-seeking side. By the time he clicked accept, he had already imagined a small, playful creature that would curl up on his shoulder, respond to commands, maybe even follow him around like a cosmic puppy. The instructions were precise. Report to Dock 17 at the Astropier at precisely 3 a.m. on Thursday. Wear no metallic jewelry. Speak no unnecessary words. Bring nothing but your identification and a sense of expectation. The rest would be handled by the company. Jared laughed at the paranoia embedded in the instructions. No problem, he muttered to himself as he strapped his hoverpack over his shoulders. I'm not afraid of a little alien pet. Dock 17 was a cavernous space, illuminated by dim neon streaks reflecting off the metallic walls. It smelled faintly of ozone and disinfectant. The airlock hissed, and a voice crackled over an intercom. "Mr. Whitmore, step forward." He did, trying not to look like a fool as a platform descended from the ceiling. On it was a single, sealed pod no taller than his knees. The pod glowed faintly, pulsing with an eerie purple light. Jared's heart raced. This was it, his pet. The intercom spoke again. "Do not open the pod yourself. We will initiate the release sequence." A hatch on the pod slid open with a hiss, and a figure slowly emerged. Jared expected something cute, small, maybe furry. Instead, what stepped out was a tall, humanoid woman, her skin pale as moonlight, her eyes enormous, glowing faintly like twin sapphires. She trembled violently, her hands clutched at her chest as if trying to protect herself from the world. Her elongated fangs peeked from her lips, a horrifying contrast to her fragile frame. Jared froze. Hello," he said, unsure if he should speak or run. The woman flinched and took a step back, her gaze darting around the room. I don't understand," she stammered in a voice that was soft, almost melodic. Her accent was unplaceable, alien, but still understandable. Why am I here?" Jared's mouth went dry. "You're my pet." She shook her head violently. I am not a pet. I am Her voice broke, and she sank to her knees, curling into herself. "I don't want this. Please. I don't want this." Jared stepped back, suddenly feeling the weight of the situation. This was not what he had signed up for. But as he took in her terrified expression, he also felt a strange pang of guilt. She wasn't a creature to command or amuse himself with. She was terrified, vulnerable, and human, in a way that transcended species. Okay, he said gently. "We don't have to do anything. You don't have to be a pet. We can figure this out." Her eyes widened, flickering with confusion and hope. Slowly, she stood, her hands trembling. You mean it?" "I do," Jared said. He didn't fully understand why he felt compelled to protect her, but the instinct was undeniable. "I'll help you. Whatever this is, we'll figure it out together." Her lips quivered into a hesitant smile, one that revealed sharp, predatory teeth. "My name is Lyra," she said. "Lyra Kothari. Please don't let them take me back." The journey back to Jared's apartment was tense. Lyra clung to his arm, wary of every shadow and sound. Her large eyes darted constantly, taking in every detail, every reflection, every moving object. Jared tried to make small talk, asking questions about her life before she was abducted, but her answers were fragmented, peppered with fearful pauses. They experiment on us, she whispered finally, her voice quivering. They say we are pets, but we are not meant for this. They drink our essence, our energy until we are empty. Jared's stomach turned. He had imagined a cute companion. He hadn't imagined something that could be described as a victim of biological horror. Your essence? What does that mean? She flinched at his words, as though repeating it aloud caused pain. Blood life, we are not like humans. They promise safety, and we are not safe. By the time they arrived at Jared's apartment, he had made a decision. Lyra would not be returned. Not to the company, not to anyone. She would be free, and he would protect her. The next days were a careful dance of adaptation. Lyra was not like any being Jared had ever encountered. She slept during the day, surfacing at night, her movements silent and precise. She could vanish into the shadows, her body seemingly weightless, and she had a hunger that Jared couldn't quite understand, a hunger that required restraint. Despite her predatory nature, there was a fragility to her that made Jared fiercely protective. He learned that Lyra was not merely alien, she was a vampire species from a distant planet in the Andromeda sector. Her people had been enslaved by humans in a secret intergalactic experiment, their bodies exploited for their unique biochemistry. Lyra had been chosen for her purity, her strong will, and her ability to survive the extraction process, something most of her kind could not endure. Jared's apartment became a sanctuary. He shielded Lyra from sunlight with reinforced blackout panels and provided her with synthetic blood packs he managed to obtain through illicit biotech channels. Slowly, she began to trust him, speaking more freely, laughing occasionally, though each laugh was tinged with a nervous tension, as if joy was a dangerous luxury. But freedom was a fragile thing. One night, as Lyra slept curled in a darkened corner, Jared's door buzzer chimed. He froze. Visitors at midnight were rare and dangerous in a world where black market biotech corporations wielded immense power. He checked the security feed and froze again. 2 black-clad figures were at his door, exosuits glinting faintly under the dim lights, weapons slung casually across their chests. They found us, he whispered, shaking Lyra awake. Her eyes snapped open, glowing faintly in the darkness. They promised I could not escape, she said softly. We must run. They didn't. There wasn't time. Jared grabbed a duffel bag, tossing in essential supplies while Lyra darted to the window, her elongated limbs folding in ways that should have been impossible. She scaled the wall silently, securing a rope ladder for their escape. By the time the enforcers broke down the door, Jared and Lyra had vanished into the night, moving through the city's abandoned aerial rails, ducking into hidden alleys and disused maintenance shafts. Lyra's agility and night vision allowed them to evade pursuit, but Jared realized they couldn't run forever. They needed a plan. The plan emerged in whispered conversations at dawn, hidden in the shadows of a forgotten spaceport. Lyra had knowledge of a remote colony on a rogue planet, far beyond the reach of human corporate influence. They will not come here, she said. Few have ships capable of reaching the drift fields, and fewer still know the coordinates.